Hello and welcome back to EU4, where we took in the last episode against Ottomans 150% overextension. If you don't know, taking overextension above 100 is bad. Very bad. So what I think we are going to do is actually release Iraq. They have a lot of cores and they actually have not enough, but I think what we do is give them Basra. They have the capacity to actually, what we are going to do is force them to become our religion. And then we are going to give them Vasi. Mongolia we can bring down. They are going to get shut and we will give them Basra. A question is, are we going to give them... Do we need to give them more? I need to wait one day. Yes, we do. We need to give them more or release another vassal. I think I'd rather give them more, to be honest. I'm going to give them the rest of Al Jazeera. So, Mosul, Mardin, and Araka. Here we go. Yeah, and that's just barely below. Then we need to start coring everything. And see if we can get them loyal. Might be easier said than done. Might have to do a bunch of developing. And since this is my vassal, I think we should be very helpful and try to keep them rebel free. Plus, I need to try to keep myself rebel free as well, so it might be a good thing to try to accomplish at least. Now, they are down to 67. Let's see, is there anything else we can try that isn't going to cost us massive amounts of 52. Here we go, that's below. Let's improve relations. Going to crank the corruption reduction to max. Austria. Yeah, it's sort of a miracle we actually are able to keep our power projection as high as we have it. So yeah, let's see what we can do. We need oh my god, my throat is very, very dry for some reason. Probably because of all the talking, but still. Let's see if we can get this. I want to try to get this series completed and ended at this point. Not that it's boring, rather I don't want it to become too many episodes so I can actually upload it completely before the expansion comes out, which would be very nice. Yeah, and Austria has not his old allies back, but a lot of allies back. Which is very often the case, so I'm not really surprised. Let's take a look. How is it looking? Return that core. Let's see. Everything that is orthodox should be added to the trade company. That's usually how I do it, is I add it to the trade company if I have converted it. The only reason why I want to do that is because, yes, having the religion to be anything but your religion, and in our case it is Orthodox, we actually lower the unrest. We or rather increase the unrest. The threshold from having a chance of a rebellion to not is a lot better if you convert it and then add it to the trade company than if you just keep the old religion and just make it a trade company. It might actually be the case that if you have a disaster or something that increases your national unrest or your unrest in the province, in one way or another, you might actually find yourself, despite adding it to the trade company, which lowers the unrest with... How much is it really? Is it... It's... It's a bit. I don't remember exactly how much or what it is that does it, because I haven't really looked into it, but it does get lowered. I think it has to do with it doesn't count the religion. But yeah, I usually like to convert and then add. Whether it actually makes a difference, who knows, who cares? But yeah, that's usually what I do. Norway is not super happy with me. Right, it's because you have a better diplomatic tech than I. Not super sure what to do with take your chances. Yeah, sure. Yeah. We sort of need to stabilize again. That is usually the case after war. Takes a bit of time to core as well, so... Oh my god, there's a bunch of... Oh my god, how many of these have you built? And it's the upgraded version as well. So it's so much wasted money. The Ottomans should not need... And he has quantity ideas. He shouldn't need to build conscription centers. Not even regimental camps. What the? Why are you building those? At all? Ever? It's one thing a nation like Iraq here, which is my vassal, which means they get a lowered force limit because of that. It's one thing if they have like conscription center or regimental camps, 1 or 2. That's one thing, but an independent nation, Ottomans, this big, and with quantity ideas fully completed, you wouldn't need any conscription centers at all, ever. That's just stupid. And having marketplaces in these provinces is just... ugh. Let's see. Once we have Splendor at like the level of like 800. We need Russian Empire. That is probably one of the best things in these for like nation specific. Now the Prussian discipline fire damage received minus 20% is ginormous. However, plus 20 number of states is, you can build so many more troops and actually have an economy for those troops that those might like that minus 20 isn't as big of a difference anymore. There's a lot of rebels spawning. Seems like everything happened to spawn at the same time. Yeah, and here we have, this was the event I was talking about. Oh right, it's their core. You know what? I'm going to wait until it's actually converted. There we go. But yeah, he will like you if you give him, but he will hate you if you don't. So it is a bit of a risk, especially if you have a lot of provinces that they have a claim on or a core on. Because it doesn't matter if it's core or a claim, they will. You can still get that. You can still get that event. So doesn't matter in that regard. Let's see. What? Oh, because he... freaking AI. I hate AI where they... If they're not like 10 times stronger than the rebels, they're not going to engage. Ever. And that is mightily annoying. Yep, there we go. We have now acquired 20 states, which, as you can imagine, is going to do a lot for us. Dagestan, sure. We have Kurdistan, which is here, and we have Wallachia, we have Shirvan, we have Bulgaria. As long as you take stuff that is a lot of development, it's fine. One thing you want to avoid is picking things that's not really good, like it doesn't have a lot of development. That's something you actually want to avoid taking because it's not going to help you. If you can take stuff that has a decent amount of development and estuaries or a center of trades, that is the absolute best thing you can get. For example, North Hebei would have been a really, really good one to state. Now, I don't need to because I can make it a trade company. The thing with trade company is that it's basically the same as making it the core state, because you get the autonomy down to 0, but it doesn't take up a state slot. So yeah, it's a lot of good stuff with in that regard, because you need to be careful what you pick, because some stuff is better to not state over others. So for some things is actually better to state than other things. For example, the more actual provinces there is in the state, the better. So if you have some which is the same amount of development, but one of them has 5 provinces, whereas the other one has 3, the one with 5 is better to put as a state, unless it's like something stupid as a lot of trade modifiers, which is going to help you a lot. Then it might be good to keep to put them all as in a state, but you're gonna have to go a bit by case and look at all of the benefits and so on to make the call. South Transylvania, yes. Kara-Denis, yes. And while this, like all of that, is actually in Constantinople, now just because I can't push trade from Constantinople up to Novgorod doesn't mean it's actually useless, even in the terms of trade, to get trade power in something like Constantinople for me. Crimea is the last one I can push trade from and up to Novgorod. But the thing is, if I have 100% in Constantinople, no one else is going to have trade power in Crimea. And even if I don't have 100% in Constantinople, it means that if I have the majority there, in Crimea there will barely be anyone having any trade power at all. Which means that even if someone tries to pull money from Crimea to Constantinople and then on away to where they want the money to go, it's going to be such a small amount that most of it is going to go up where I want it. For example, in Crimea, I'm pushing 23.97 ducats to Kiev. Whereas 4 other nations is trying to push at the same time. One of them, which are the Ottomans, and they are only being able to push 0.53 ducats. That is because I have 89% of the trade power and they have basically 0. They have 1%. Ottomans have 1%. Now, it seems like, yeah, Bohemia is pushing towards Krakow, which is understandable with how they have it. Now, since I have 74%, it means I'm pushing a lot of money my way instead of it going where I don't want it. So it's still very important to push trade, like push states, make states in the next coming step, so everything around where you are is basically controlled by you. Even if you can't push the trade where you want it, it doesn't get siphoned where you don't want it to go. So that's a bit of a thing, and always upgrade to level 2. Always upgrade to level 2. I would say never ever upgrade an inland center of trade to level 3. Never ever do that. But always upgrade it to level 2. Let's see here. It's a 50-50 chance for a lot of money. Yeah, it's worth it. It's a 5-4-6 air, and yeah, I think it's worth it. How many more do we? 7. Yeah, that's the question. Where do we put more now? This one we could do. Tabriz we already do. This one we do. I could do this one. 28. But I'm not sure. Might be better to just take development at this point. I might want to do this, since Turda actually have a inland center of trade. Lublin, yes, because that's a center of trade. I'm actually going to do Gotland because that's the center of trade. It means that not as much money is being siphoned from Novgorod by Sweden and other nations. And other than that, I think Dulkadir is one. Take that one. Yeah, that's it. That's we have a bunch of stuff to put into cores, but yeah, that's something that is going to possibly have to wait a bit until the next episode. Now I'm going to, before we end, put out all of the burgers in their appropriate places. Now I don't think I can do them in every single place where I want them, because I haven't cored everything. Might be better to wait until that time. That one should be. Yeah, I think we are going to have to just end it here and let time pass in the next episode to be able to do all of the things. But I feel like we have destroyed Ottomans. Just the fact that we encircle them and have their capital locked down, basically. We have, I would say, beaten the Ottomans well enough that we don't need to beat them again to show our superiority. Now, the Ottomans isn't weak. They are just weaker than we are. The next target is Austria. Now I am going to cheat that one again. Because it's sort of bullshit with how easily the Emperor can get alliances, like strong alliances. Lombard and Venetia shouldn't like Austria, considering that Austria has permanent claims on them. Sorry. And that they have a permanent claim or two on them. So this... Yeah, they shouldn't like each other. That's sort of bullshit. Now... Yeah, France is integrating Castile. They also have Portugal in a personal union. Oh, wow. Yeah, he actually have sort of the same amount. No, he doesn't. He has actually below us, but wow, he has a lot of development. But anyway, we are going to have to end it here. So, thanks for watching, goodbye, and I hope I'll see you in the next one.